what do you think you have to offer that the other candidates don't have to offer in this campaign?
I have the opportunity, I believe, to rebrand our party, and people have asked me, what does that mean? You're going to change the name of the party? No, I don't believe that that's what we need to do, but I believe because I am the youngest candidate and the only candidate that brings a different voice and a different perspective and a different set of experiences to the table, it gives the party an opportunity to expand into new horizons in terms of our voter base. And I say that because I know from being involved very intimately with the last election campaign as a co-chair that our universe of voters, and those are people who are likely to vote NDP if we can get the right message to them, are young people and our women. And if we know that's our potential universe for gaining support, then it seems to me that I would be an excellent candidate in that regard. Having said so, I also believe that my skills and my history as a community organizer are fundamental at this point in time for our party. We have lost membership for quite some time now. We've had a little bit of an increase as a result of the work that was done around the leadership campaigns. However, we need to broaden our base. We need to grow our party, and you don't do that from the top down. You do that from the grassroots, and that's something that I have significant experience in, having been an organizer for many years in a social justice legal clinic in the city of Hamilton.
You mentioned getting messages to these constituencies that you've identified as important to the growth of the party. What are the big ideas that are going to win for the NDP? What are the big ideas that are different from maybe the ideas that that the party has promoted in the past?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that's in some sense contextual around the campaign when it comes up. So if the campaign was right now, we would be talking about jobs and economy. We don't know what it's going to look like in terms of 2011, but you know very well that we have a lot of great ideas, whether it's environmental sustainability, whether it's green energy, whether it's retrofitting of homes for conservation, environment. We have a lot of great stuff. Healthcare, we have a lot of great ideas around healthcare and ensuring that our healthcare system is sustainable by getting rid of privatization and making sure it's publicly funded, not-for-profit delivery in cases where that's appropriate. We know that we have great policies around education, post-secondary tuition being reduced, making sure that schools are utilized for the benefit of children and communities. We know that ESL and special education need to be bumped up. We know that the funding formula that Harris put in place is still there. We need to get rid of that. So on all the fundamentals, we have great ideas. Our challenge is getting our message out. And I believe that I am uniquely positioned as a leader to draw the attention of the Ontario public to our party and the messages that we're sending out. I think that I bring a different look, if you will, but certainly a different voice and a different perspective, and one that will make some people stand up and pay attention to what we have to offer.
We hear a lot of talk, both in the debate today and here at the federal level, about coalition politics, and I think that was part of Barack Obama's appeal as well. What is your view of the role of coalition politics for the Ontario New Democratic Party?
Well, I mean, we're talking a completely different context for Ontario and New Democratic Party. I mean, we have a majority Liberal government right now that we're doing our best to hold to account. In fact, with a 10-member caucus, we might not be the official opposition, but we really are the only opposition when it comes to holding the government to account in the legislature. And we saw that with the strike-breaking, this back-to-work legislation for the QP 3903 workers who were legislated back to work by the government. And the Conservatives and the Liberals were very close in terms of their cooperation to try to get that legislation passed through without having any debate about the fundamental rights of workers to organize and collectively bargain and have a process that is fair and transparent. Unfortunately, we only had 10 members, and so we couldn't hold up that legislation and require more accountability. Unfortunately, it's the Liberals and the Conservatives in Ontario that seem to be having more of a coalition than anything else, and it's not necessary. With majority governments, coalition is not really the context that we're dealing with. Whether or not things change the effect to the point that there might be that opportunity in sometime in the future, I mean, I can't speculate. It all depends on what's happening within the environment at the time, what the politics are at the time. So it's not something you can just broad brush say.
One more question, Andrea. What do you think the Ontario NDP can learn from the example of Barack Obama?
I think that there are a number of lessons from Barack Obama's campaign. Certainly he had a different voice and a different perspective and a different face and a different set of experiences. He was not the most experienced, but he connected with people. He connected with people on the ground. He spoke about their issues in a very clear and a very empathetic way. And I think that's what brought people to him. I also believe we have lessons to learn around how he was able to use his as partners in the labor movement to mobilize on the ground across the country. We have that opportunity as well in the New Democratic Party, particularly here in Ontario. I have strong connections with labor, not only from my own community but from across the province, and I think we can enlist their aid in helping us to rebuild, because we don't have the finances to do that ourselves. They have the people infrastructure, they have the physical infrastructure to help us rebuild, and it's not about asking for checks during election time. It's about helping us rebuild at Leadership Plus One.
Thank you very much, Andrea Horwath.
Thank you very much, Ish.
Good luck.